Hello everyone and welcome to today's Kickstart Your Career session with the Springboard charity. My name's Redden McDonald and I'm going to be your trainer for today's workshop. First of all, can I just make sure that you're comfortably seated with coats and bags out of the way and that you can see the screen. So in today's session we're going to explore personal attributes and skills required in the world of work, as well as some specific career pathways in the hospitality, leisure and tourism industry. So we'll just have a quick look at today's agenda. So as a result of today's session, everybody will have an understanding of the personal qualities and skills required to work in the hospitality, leisure and tourism industry, and that's what HLT means. And we're also going to understand some of the entry-level roles and the career progress attached to them. Now, it's worth mentioning that part of my job at Springboard is to promote the hospitality, leisure and tourism industry as a great place to work. So you might be sitting there thinking that hospitality might not be for you. However, the skills and attributes that we're going to cover today are important in a variety of different sectors, not just hospitality. Okay, so to get us started, let's see what you already know. So can anybody share with us what they think a personal attribute is? So note to the teacher, you might want to pause the video at this point to allow for responses. So I'll just pause and allow some responses to come through. So personal attributes. Personal attributes are the characteristics, qualities or personality traits of an individual. So the personal attributes that we need to be successful in work are usually developed during your time in education. So we're going to have a look at 5 of the key ones. But some examples of personal attributes that you could identify in yourself now would be maybe being honest, having a good sense of humour, or being dependable. But let's have a look at some of the most important ones that are especially important when working in hospitality. Okay, so we've got commitment. So with commitment, regardless of your role in hospitality, you're going to have to show commitment and hard work. So it's likely that you'll be on your feet for most of the time, working long shifts, all while being cheery and friendly. Therefore, if you have a tendency to skive or you're not willing to roll up your sleeves and get stuck in, it's likely that you're going to get found out. So that's commitment. So the next one, listening and communication. So this is very important. So when working in the hospitality industry, you'll be dealing with people from a variety of different backgrounds, ages, nationalities. Therefore, it's important that we can communicate in a way that is both clear and understandable. So you want your customers to come back, so the ability to build relationships can make a big difference. And this also means that your listening skills have to be spot on. But what we'll do later on in the session is we'll complete a short exercise that will test out your own listening skills. So moving on, we've got attention to detail. So although your attention to detail skills will not make or break your hospitality career, there are times when they do come in handy. So whether it's, spotting payment errors at a reception or noticing that a particular ingredient is out of date in the kitchen, the little things can make a big difference. So it can also help you to develop relationships with customers and provide a more positive experience overall. For instance, suggesting a particular wine to accompany a dish, remembering how a certain customer prefers a drink to be made, or even noticing that someone is struggling to carry their luggage and offering to help are all small details that can leave a big impression on customers. So next we've got teamwork. So in hospitality, in any industry actually, regardless of your role, you will always only be ever one cog in a much larger machine. So whether it's within a particular hotel department or in a busy kitchen or as part of bar staff, you need to be able to work well with others, especially during busy periods. And then the last one, and I think this is a really important one, enthusiasm and having a great attitude. Having a positive attitude being enthusiastic and cheerful and having that kind of outlook in life will really show that you care. And always listen to instructions for your manager and make sure that you act professional in front of customers, and make sure you've got the ability to choose your attitudes. We've all got that ability. So at this stage, I just want to check if there's any questions. If there are any questions, you can ask them to your teacher. Okay, so before we mentioned about listening and the importance of listening skills. So now we're going to do a little activity that's going to test your listening skills. Now, first things first, if possible, could all students stand up, move to the classroom wall and face out the way, making sure that you cannot see any of your classmates' faces. Now, if this isn't going to be possible, if it's quite a small classroom, this activity should be completed at your desk with your eyes closed so you can't see the expression on any of your classmates' faces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out a little story, and your job whilst I'm reading this story is to listen to it. Now I'm going to read out the story. Once I've finished it, I'm going to ask you a question, and the question everybody has to answer. So imagine you're driving a bus. So you are the bus driver at stop 1. 3 people get on the bus and one of them was wearing a red hat. At stop 2, 4 people got on and 1 got off. At stop 3, 2 people got on, 1 person was carrying a bag and the person with the red hat got off. So here's your question, guys. What is the age of the bus driver? And I'll let the teacher collect your responses of how old you think the bus driver is. Okay, so the question was, what's the bus driver's age? The answer is whatever your age is. At the start of the short story, I started with a line saying, imagine you are the bus driver. So that should really highlight the importance of listening and making sure that you capture all the key details when someone is communicating with you. So listening skills are one of the most important aspects of the communication process. It helps to understand and read the other person's message. And effective listening skills create positive working relationships, which influence our own opinions and responsiveness to one another. Okay, so we're going to move on now. So your teacher's now going to issue you with 2 handouts. Now, one of these, which is called handout 1, is on the slide, which you can see on the screen now. And the other one, which is called handout 2, provides a summary of different job titles. Now, I'd encourage everybody to read these in your own time. So if we look at the image that's on the screen right now, you can see that it's quite a complicated image. You might not be able to see it properly. Some of the text might be quite small. But what this map is, it's a map of all of the job roles that are available within the hospitality sector, and it defines the career path that you can take. However, it's not always a clear path. Now, many in hospitality have taken sideways steps and moved into different areas before climbing the career ladder. Now, there's no need to say at this stage that you want to be a supervisor or a manager. Some might be happy to stay in a basic level job longer than others might. The moral of the story is that the hospitality industry is a great place to progress up the career ladder if you wish to do so, and there's not actually any requirements to have any qualifications. So if we look at the map on the screen, I'd like to map out my own career path, just to highlight how it is not always a clear path. So at the start of my journey in hospitality, well, before the start of my journey in hospitality, I was working as a freelance musician. I studied music at school. I always wanted to be a musician. I thought that was going to be the best way to make a great living. quickly realised after studying music that being a musician, there's not actually a lot of money in it. So I decided to get some money in the bank that I would go work in a bar. So I worked as a bartender, making cocktails and making different mixed drinks. I then progressed to bar supervisor, which is where I was leading the bar team. I was motivating them, encouraging them, and making sure the shift ran well. From the bar supervisor position, I then became a trainee assistant manager. And from there, I became a deputy general manager. And then I became a general manager, which you will see in the centre circle on the spider diagram. So the general manager, that's the person that is responsible for all aspects of the business. So that could be from making sure that all the stock's ordered, that the cash that's taken each day is counted, to making sure that staff rotas are done. They're also responsible for any costs that are coming into the business. So that could be anything from electricity and gas to business rates that you pay to a council. The general manager is quite a senior role in any business, and some different general managers are responsible for different types of businesses. So you could get a general manager that's responsible for a small cafe, or you could get a general manager who's responsible for a huge music venue. It's still the same job, but the content is slightly different depending on the size of the venue. So I'll let you have a look at those handouts in your own time. That should give you some food for thought about your own career path. Now, if you are thinking to yourself, I don't like the idea of hospitality, or it doesn't sound like something I'd be into, if you look more closely at the spidergram on the screen and on your handout, you may be able to pick out some roles that you may never consider to be part of hospitality. So have a look at those and have a look at the career progression available. Now, it might be worth doing some research on some of the job titles on the screen here. Once you do a search on the job titles, you may actually be able to find some job ads that are available, and it will show you what salaries are attached and what you could be earning in these roles at some point. So that might be a little activity to do in your own time. Now we're going to finish up today's session with a quick quiz. So there's only 5 questions. All of them are multiple choice. So if you're not too sure of the answer, you've got a 1 in 4 chance of getting it right. So let's have a go now. So question 1. What does HLT stand for? So is it A, hospitality, leisure and tourism, B, hospitality, leisure and travel, C, hospitality, live music and tourism, or D, home cooking, lunch and tea? So that's A, hospitality, leisure and travel, B, hospitality, leisure and tourism, C, hospitality, live music and tourism, or D, home cooking, lunch and tea. So question 2 now. According to employers, what is the most important thing they look for when hiring front of house staff? So this might be a little bit of a tricky one. Is it A, great memory, B, warm personality, C, ability to work quickly, or D, product knowledge? Okay, the next one. How many people does the hospitality industry employ? And this is within the UK, not the world. So this is just within the UK. Is it A, 2.2 million, B, 4.5 million, C, 6.8 million, D, 12.2 million? And question number 4. Which of the below is a key skill of a hospitality worker? Is it A, listening and communication skills, B, commitment and attention to detail, C, teamwork and enthusiasm, or D, all of the above? And question 5, the last question. According to hiring managers, what is the most important thing needed if you want to get a promotion? Is it A, product knowledge, B, qualifications, C, relevant experience, or D, a good CV? Okay, so let's go over the answers. So question 1 was, what does HLT stand for? And the answer is B, hospitality, leisure and tourism. So give yourself a little clap if you got that right. Okay, so question 2 was, according to employers, what is the most important thing they look for when hiring front of house staff? And the answer was B, warm personality. So great memory, you know, that's important in any industry. Ability to work quickly, important as well, and product knowledge is all important. But ultimately, especially in hospitality, we're dealing with customers on a face-to-face basis. So a warm personality is going to triumph overall. Question 3. How many people does the hospitality industry employ in the UK? And the answer was 4.5 million. It's a huge industry and it's one of the largest in the UK. Question 4. Which of the below is a key skill of a hospitality worker? And everybody should have got this right. It was D, all of the above. Because listening and communication skills, commitment and attention to detail, and teamwork and enthusiasm, we covered earlier on, are the key personal skills and attributes required to work in hospitality, but as well as any industry. Okay, and we'll finish with question 5. According to hiring managers, what is the most important thing needed if you want to get a promotion? And the answer is relevant experience. So again, product knowledge is going to be important as well. Qualifications can be important, but they're not the most important. A good CV is going to help, but ultimately it's your experience that's going to help you gain promotion in the future. That brings us to the end of today's session. I hope you found that informative. If you do have any questions for myself, you can ask them to your teacher. Either your teacher will be able to answer them for you, or they'll be able to get in contact with myself. Now, this is one in many different Kickstart Your Career sessions that we are delivering. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope you enjoy future sessions.